Welcome. It's Psychic Tuesday, and I'm your guide, Bernice Bisson. We're going to start at the top with all that crazy astrology, and then we're going to get into a couple of calls, hopefully a couple. I tend to talk a lot, and then we get down some rabbit holes. But um, I want to talk about some of the transits, literally the last few days and the next few days are pretty intense. So there's going to be reminders for all signs to just chill out, chill out. You don't have to be there right now. The world, slow it down because we've got some pretty intense energy. It's going to impact people in different ways. I'm going to talk about that with each of the signs, but we've got a couple of squares. In fact, we've got several squares. And when a square happens, it's pressures, tensions, and Mercury and Venus, Chiron, and Mercury's kind of so there's going to be structures around communications, difficulties in following through in actual communications. Is it AI? Is it real? Is it copyrighted? Is what being said coming from a wounded place? And then we've got Mars squaring Pluto, and it's like it's power struggles, conflict, confrontation, and it could be stuff that really compels you to act on something. The key words would be truth versus fantasy, collective versus individual, action versus blocks. And those are the sort of the dynamics of the overall energy. And it kind of intensifies, and it's funny. So today's June 11th, and it intensifies certainly today and over the next, few days, right until that equinox on June 21st in the Northern Hemisphere shifts that energy. And so be nice to each other, slow down, don't get too ahead of ourselves. Now, I'm going to go into each of the signs. And again, sun, moon, or rising. Rising signs, the combination of both your divine feminine, the moon, the divine masculine, the sun, and how it comes together and how you bring it forward. So you can, whichever you identify with is great. Let's start with Aries. It's going to be around friends, social circles, networks. Things could come out of the blue. You could get sudden opportunities, sudden accolades, sudden communications. And it's like, oh, I might, you can't be in 10 places at the same time. You could have sudden revelations from friends. Friends could turn lovers, friends could turn not friends, or they could give you some interesting information over the next 10 days. Taurus is sun, moon, or rising. It's going to be about hidden truths, getting inspired, things that come up to really move us in a spiritual way, epiphanies, things that could move you into a new way of looking at some hidden truths and being inspired to really make personal change, personal movement, personal changes in yourselves and how you relate to others this next week. So it's going to be some big stuff there. Then I got Geminis. This is about self-assertion, being like you literally have half the solar system gathered in your sign, and all this Mercury energy, mercurial energy, is going on with the gathering of the Sun and Venus and Mercury, um, Jupiter, all in Gemini right now, and it's really about small conversations that can go big, asserting your boundaries, Gemini. The small things that can go viral. How do you manage it after? It's putting all those things in that need, and that's goes for all mutable signs as well. And so Cancerians, sun, moon, or rising, gathering your possessions, gathering your assets, sorting along what you own, what could be owed to you, what could be estates, property, values, getting things assessed, revaluing mortgages, looking at gathering up possessions, resources, balancing you know, trying to bring your balance sheet into balance, your checkbook into balance, really assessing what you have. and really being grateful for it because you could be called to pitch in. Again, this is all energy around us versus them, or the greater good versus my own needs. And so being really mindful about that. Leo, communications, how you're communicating, how you're coming across, how you're bringing information forward, how you're receiving information too is going to be a big one for you. And it could be anything. And if you work in communications in any way, um, this could be some restructures, unexpected changes, power struggles, asserting your truths, really seeing where you move forward in this area there, Leos. How communications work, and how how maybe draw the line in the sand about maybe being everyone's therapist. Maybe this is part of it, because part of it is like this chironic, we're all having that chironic wound and really having to address it and deal with it. And so for you guys, it's in your communications, how you therapy and counsel people around you, and needing that energy for yourself, possibly. Virgo, sun, moon, or rising, home, family, as much as you want, you're like, oh, I need to make money. I need to do this. You also need to pay attention to home, family obligations. That could be people who live away, people who live um, not in your home necessarily, but people that you feel obligated to, or people that you're needing to be attentive to, and possibly having to travel, having to look at picking dates to travel, picking dates to go places. So Virgo, and then meanwhile, your whole mind is like, oh, I got to have work, I have obligations here. So you could be pulled in two different directions there over the next 10 days. Libras, God, create, date, mate. It's like love fest. I don't go down any third party things. Don't rabbit holes. Don't stay true to what you need out of relationship. You could be in a place where you're attracting a lot. You could have sudden revelations, things that come out of the blue, right around who mates are, who you're dating, what you're creating, who you've been creating things with. Really getting a reality check. And if you're in the throes of a new romantic um, relationship, you could get a bit of a reality check. Or in relationships as a whole, getting some reality check there. And what does that mean for you in terms of how you're relating to things? And I feel like all of this energy for all signs is really about coming to realization, revelations. You can't go backwards, got to move forward, you got to move things in a new way. So it could be very revolutionary. Scorpio, it's around what you're in service to, your health, your routines, your day to day, what how you get to work, how you get home, what you do when you get home, how you're taking care of yourself, how, and you could become very rigid in that. You could be, and if something's knocking you off your routine, boy, you're going to get annoyed. You're going to feel so annoyed because I feel like you're going to have to maybe give up something in your routine to accommodate others around you. And that could give up your space. Somebody might need to stay with you. You might have to accommodate others' needs and make room for that in your life in some way. There are Scorps. Sagittarians, partners, marriages, commitments, really what's going on for you. And that could be past, present, future. It becomes sort of that unexpected element ruled by all those squares I talked about. And maybe having to pivot. Maybe there's something that comes up in your in-laws partnership, things you've committed to that require your absolute attention, having to make decisions between what's your own needs and what's the greater good, what's fantasy, what's truth, what's blocks and what's action, where can you take action, and where do you have to stand still. So those could be some big stuff for you, Sagittarians. Capricorns, sun, moon, rising, we've got money, feeling renewals, and how you make your money, your how your earnings look, how that money is being generated in your life, opportunities, business, all those things come to, offers, opportunities, also pivots, redirections, and reconstruction. I think of in Winnipeg, this time of year is construction season. We all groan when we think of that because Even if your greatest intent was to so be there on time, you got to tack on 20 minutes to everything. That's the energy this week. So just know that, okay? And that any bumps in that money, you could have to sort it out. You could have to be follow a process to go and reclaim something. Sorry, Capricorns, it feels like, and doesn't mean you won't get what you need in the end. It's just it's a pretty delicate balance. It could cause some power struggles around you. And then we get into Aquarian, and it's around travel and philosophy, wanting to travel, wanting to break free, wanting to get out of your routine, and you could have opportunities to go, considerations to make around going. You could have things that pop up for you around having to attend to travel, even though you might have demands at work or at home. And so there's a lot, and really, if you accept this need to move in some way, need to take action, need to travel, or have unexpected moves showing up for you. Rentals mostly. I don't feel the long term energy there. And then Pisces, it's around career and reputation, and maybe just feeling frustrated, or feeling kind of stuck in areas there, and feeling like you need bigger changes. You need new opportunities. You might be really thinking about, and you might be really trying to identify areas how you're communicating, especially if you're in anything that could be in sales, um, sales, or client based or client driven. Um, are some big things for you guys. And so just you could have things that come out of the blue. And again, we always assume the power struggles don't, they could be negative. And sometimes those harsh, or those truths happen for sure. But I also feel like there could be some really unexpected good things that require action right away. There are some really unexpected good news that requires you to move in some way. And I just feel like for all signs that this is going to come up in the next 10 days, and it could be pivoting in different ways for you. And so you can find me at bernicebissonpsychic.com. You can also find my Facebook page at Bernice Bisson Psychic. I don't spend a lot of time on social media, but I do post a video every week, inclusive of this video. I do post a collective reading, something totally different than what we're doing here. And my readings are normally an hour long. I combine psychic and medium work together. I don't know. I don't really separate too much there. And I read all kinds of things. I like to read palms and cards and tea leaves and all kinds of stuff. And I do video read and in person. Okay, so let's get to it. I have Jamie in Port Huron, Michigan. Jamie, how can I be of service to you today?
Hi. So I just I have more of a spiritual guided reading I would like. I have some questions I just have a lot going on.
Okay. Oh, well, yes. Okay. So let's begin with just the day and month of your birthday, Jamie.
September 25th.
You were September 25th, 2/5.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Let's explore that a little bit. So there's um, a couple of things that have come to mind. There's going to be some decisions around your work, and having to pivot, and being called to make changes to find balance. And I feel like, it could be even obligations, like trying to find balance between home and work, or obligations and family and work, or your own direction in some way is going to be an important piece. There's going to be some important stuff around having to deal with a challenging male energy. And this male energy, as much as you might want to help, you might want to intervene, you might want to, I feel like they won't listen, they won't accept it could be some power struggles there a little bit with a male, a divine masculine right around you. There is going to be some plans that are going to um, maybe overwhelm you a little bit. Like they could come at you fast and furious. There could be in the next, maybe even come August, some need for you to, for instance, events being put on like weddings or special events, things where you're at the, last minute having to help, having to show up and be part of, or having getting last minute invitations. So there's something important about that as well. When I think about Lake Huron, Michigan area, I also feel like there is going to be um, an unexpected move or an unexpected, let me correct myself. I feel like there's some unexpected travel or travel that's going to be bigger than was anticipated. It's going to bring people to the west. West of you would lead me to the west coast, to the Pacific Ocean, the west coast. And I feel like there could be even news within 7 months around that, 7 months, 2 years. It doesn't feel imminent, it feels within months. And there's something important about that and the timing of it. I feel like September, very particularly, is going to pull you in a couple of directions. Okay. Like you really want to move to go, or you really want to go, but I don't know. I feel like there's the health of someone that's going to show up, or your obligations to the care of this person, even if they're not accepting the help, even if they're not. So it feels like that's going to show up around you, particularly, and I want to, Spirit keeps wanting to bring me back to this past March. Because when I think about my lovely little Libra, March, April, um, could have already started to present challenges to where things are going. And I feel like your birthday coming this October is almost like there is more definitive decisions, there's more definitive action. But August to October is going to require decisions, action, people's unexpected moves, something around having to deal with houses, having to deal with I don't know that I even mean yours where you live. It could also be inclusive of family around you.
Okay.
I I do think there is some lovely news where there might have been, and it's so funny because I don't know, I just keep thinking of your dad for some reason in my head. Um, and and you and some, like a group of three of you, or there's like these three, I don't know, I want to talk about some girls somewhere. Um, but I feel like there's going to be um, the move of some. I'm gonna say you're gonna get sandwiched by a couple of moves, like a young person and an older person, both of them sort of bookending this next year to 18 months. I feel like there's also going to be some discussion of news about, I'm going to just say it. I'm going to make a prediction, Jamie. I'm going to
Okay.
predict that, I don't know, there's going to be the birth of a boy if he wasn't recently, um, if he didn't recently arrive. There's something about news coming about this. And I feel like if I think about your dad, I think about someone's kid having a baby and it's a boy and it's a gift and it's good news. It feels like very tremendous news. Um, the last piece I feel like I want to just sort of maybe give to you before I stop talking is There's something really important about money getting sorted out. And I feel like for you to move forward or for you to get things moving forward, there's going to be documents, papers, things around money that are going to be really once they're once these papers are sort of either signed, sealed, delivered. I guess I have that song in my head. Um, that you're going to be able to really move forward. But I get the sense more so that more action will show up in October, closer to your birthday. Okay, closer to your birthday.
Okay.
Um, I do think um, that you'll have time off work. Um, you'll be off, and then you'll return, or you'll have a break, and then there's a return. And I don't know that it's that you just get holidays. I mean, I understand that people do, but it could be weeks, couple months.
For a
Um,
couple months off of work.
yeah, like may I ask you a question, Jamie? Do you mind if I
Yeah.
um do you have like a bunch of holidays saved up?
I have some vacation time remaining, but not much.
I feel like I'm gonna kind of stick to what my gut is telling me. I feel like before November, there's like you have a break from work and then a return to work. And I would say that the number in my head is around 5 weeks or five. I don't. So I wish I could be more specific, but it keeps showing up with some time off and a return to work. And you're not losing a job. You're not getting fired. But there seems to be a break and then a return. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I almost feel like there's going to be something that shows up around that could be the care of people. That could be you're taking some time to pay attention to family. You're going to take some time to pay attention to demands at home, demands in family, demands. And there's something about that, or you might be working very, like you could just be on oh, I need 2 extra weeks because I'm taking care of something. I don't know that it's going to be a surprise. I feel like it's, if I may, if I think about where you live, um, I think about family that could be within a couple hours of you. Um, people, may I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Do you, um, uh, do you have two places now? Like, do you have where you live and then maybe something at the water?
Um, Kinda, yeah. So I actually have where I live, and then my mother's home, which is very close to me, which is the house I grew up in, is close to the water. It's on the beach.
I feel like maybe your mom wants you there. Maybe you're going to be taking time to go there and back. I don't know. I know you're mentioning moms, but I don't know. I keep having your dad in my head. I don't know what that's about, but um, and I feel like there's going to be I'm going to just take the rest of the show with you only because I only have a few minutes left, and I want to just I'm going to give you some room for some questions just to put that in your mind for a minute. Okay. I just
Okay.
want to finish with um is- near your mom where she is at the water, is there a brother figure, another man?
Yes. Yes, I have a brother. Yes.
Yeah. Does he listen?
No, but he recently moved out, and but he still him and I both still go to my mother's quite often.
Okay. Because I keep feeling like um, that that when I think of power struggles, and when I think about It could show up there. Just put your, I don't know, something about that showing up a little bit. And then it's interesting 'cause I think about the brother, but I also think about there's like a little trio of you. There's one other person that, um, and I feel like August of this summer is going to be really important. People are all together. There's a lady who's close to your mom. Yes, you are, but another lady could be like a sister figure. I don't know, like her her family. There's another lady who's really close to her, who's really, I don't know, there's something important about August, and I'm gonna say it could show up mid-August, beginning of August, some people coming together. That could be out at the lake with your family. I feel like is a nice, um, something really nice about that. Now, d what question can I answer for you? You said general, where would you like me to focus a little bit? I got a couple of minutes. Where would you like I have 2 minutes.
Um,
Where would you like me to
so
focus?
with this, so is there the move and like I know they're very like general, like they couldn't be referring to anything, but like with the time off of work and tying in, does that do you see any decisions in my career that are coming up that uh, or opportunities that maybe I should take or not take?
That could be, like, you could, the reason you'd be off would be to change roles. Again, you're not getting fired, so if that's a choice you'd be making, I would accept that. I would feel, though, you wouldn't be making a complete career like change. You could change companies or how you're delivering your work. Um,
Oh,
and I feel like follow the money, but you're gonna have a break. And that if that's like, oh, I got this new job, I'm gonna leave this job, but I'm gonna take 2 weeks extra, or take time, I would feel like that. And again, there's something really powerful between August and October, November, when this shows up. And so if I think about the move, not to be general, but I'll be specific, I almost feel it's funny because maybe they want you out there too, or maybe there could be moves of family. And I just feel like all tied together, um, to you and decisions you're going to have to make, in the next little while as well. I
okay,
do think money is going to be a driving factor for you. Whatever this opportunity is, comes with better money, and that's the paycheck to paycheck kind of money. The kind of money that you would see on a paycheck. And there's something important about that, or it could lead to management role or something where you're able to have some movement. So I get good vibes from the whole thing. I don't feel negative
so it's like
about it.
a positive feeling.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna be just fine.